welcome to the 378th episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on March 3rd, 2024. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's dropping in from orbit to help kill some bugs, Carlos Rodella.
Crash.
Crash, indeed.
I am here. I've just got out of my pod, and I'm ready to podcast.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. I'm glad for the backup. I'm glad you could make it. I hope the journey was safe.
Oh my goodness, we're playing multiplayer, and I don't ever do that.
That is true. That is true. Folks, we're getting off to a raring start here because yesterday, Carlos and I think played multiplayer for the first time. Or no. The second time ever, right? I think it's probably the second time
ever. Because the last time we played, and this is really interesting. I just thought of this or remembered it.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, the only time we played together in person.
Before COVID.
Before COVID, and it was on my couch in my old apartment.
Yep, I remember.
We played Helldivers 1.
That's true. We played Helldivers 1 on your couch before COVID, and then we didn't play.
Goodness.
We haven't played any multiplayer at all, ever, for anything, until just this week or last week or whatever. So we're playing multiplayer again for Helldivers 2. Interesting how this game brings us together.
That is interesting. And how many years apart was that? That's crazy.
I mean, many years, because it's been many years between number 1 and number 2. I mean, at least 10, maybe?
Yeah, because I was in 2017, I think it was in that apartment, or 2016.
Something like that. It's been pretty wild. Anyway.
Wow. Okay, well, anyways, speaking of Helldivers, because we both got to play, it was weird, but it was fun. And as everybody knows who listens to the show, I generally play everything single player. So me playing multiplayer is weird in general.
It's a very special occasion indeed.
It is. And I'll do it with friends. And I don't, no offense to everybody, all humans, but I generally don't play with other humans unless I know you.
Which 99% of the time, I'm right with you, dude. I'm not like Mr. Multiplayer. I'm not Mr. Online Gaming. That is not me.
Yeah.
At all. But this is the one game that I make an exception for.
And I might, slowly at some point I might, because I've, spent enough time in this game already. So we'll see. But you and I did it for a little bit, did some missions, tried to get samples, which samples are hard in that game to come by. And I feel like even though we do well and defeat a mission, it doesn't mean you're going to get samples. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, so folks, we're obviously in housekeeping. We skipped the preamble.
This
we're
is
just
housekeeping.
talking about this. We're just talking about Helldivers 2 now
it's
because we've been playing a lot. Hellkeeping. Dive keeping?
No.
Dive house diving?
House helling?
Anyway. So we're talking about this, and yeah, so I guess this might be a little bit inside baseball if you haven't played Helldivers, although if you look at the numbers, I think maybe like everybody's playing Helldivers 2
Yeah,
right
all
now.
the humans have played it now at this point.
Yeah, I think basically anybody who's got a PC or a PlayStation 5 has probably dipped into Helldivers 2 by now. I mean, we mentioned last week in the podcast the concurrent servers were up to like 700,000, and so that's a pretty massive game. Anyway, we jumped in, and so I guess let's just do a quick update before we get into the nitty-gritty. Carlos, I'm at level 22, and at the point of the game, I don't have everything unlocked as far as like the extra weapons and stratagems go, but I've got like maybe like half of it unlocked. And as far as the battle pass goes, I think I'm probably about halvesies on both battle passes, the regular one and then the deluxe one. So like where are you at in the game right now?
I never bought the deluxe one, by the way. I just had the free battle pass. And
okay.
I think, so far, and I think this is kind of a positive, the battle passes don't seem necessary. I got one gun that I like off of it. But other than that, all the other stuff, which, cosmetic and not too much of a help, stuff that I've actually unlocked, like you said, in the ship from samples and stuff like that and points, then, I've got some stuff there. I'm Sergeant Master. That's my title. I'm a 16, I think.
Level 16? Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
And I did that solo.
Which is wild.
Which is crazy. And I beat a mission on hard.
Which is also really wild.
Is it challenging then hard, right?
I believe it's challenging and then hard, and then I think after that it goes to like insane. I might be wrong. And then I think the final one is Helldive, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I think I beat hard by myself, which some of those missions, if you've played the game, are like, built for 2 people at least.
At least. I think most of them are scaled up for 4, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of them was like, do that, change the satellite dish and you have to move it.
Yeah.
But then you have to like go back over and like, be 2 people, and I had to do it myself. So Anywho, a lot of those I beat by the skin of my teeth, and it felt really good. And I bring up the whole Helldivers in general, so that's where I'm at, 16. Don't find a lot of value out of the battle pass. Do you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I the cosmetic stuff, I could take it or leave it, but there are some good things in the battle pass, right? So I got the shotgun, the breaker. I think you're using the breaker.
The breaker
also, right?
is the best thing. Yeah,
Breaker's in there. I also got I got the explosive rifle, the explosive version of the basic rifle, which I find to be pretty good. I also got the incendiary grenades, which I find to be pretty good also, especially against the bugs, where instead of just explosion, you get explosion, and then like mini napalm hits the ground, which I find to be pretty good. So, like 80% of the battle pass is just like a cape or like different armor that doesn't really have an effect or anything. But there are actually like gameplay altering things in the battle pass that I do think, I can't vouch for all of them. I haven't got them all yet, but the things I've gotten so far have been pretty good.
Well, okay, I'm going to go back on my own word then and say I remember one thing I did get, and it is pretty far into the battle pass, but I got that armor that I used last night.
Oh, the one that gives you 50% saving your life chance?
Yeah, so basically there was like an airstrike that went down like next to me, and I should have been dead, and the armor saved me because it gave me a 50-50 chance.
So there you go. That's something good you got from
that.
That
was
pass.
Good, yeah. So I guess it's here or there, and then... Yeah, I think the unlocking stuff is pretty slow, but it's obviously meant for that. Take time. But I also bring up the game in general because there's a lot of things around the game. One, like I was telling you off podcast, I think it's very interesting the kind of lore and the MMO-ness of it, where we're all working together, which was just like in the first game.
Yeah.
And on this huge map, and then there's the robots and there's the bugs, and at some point there'll be the next faction, which they're starting to, tease right now, and was in the first game. And then but the idea that came out over the last week or so is there's this one person at Arrowhead named Joel who's controlling all of like what happens on that map.
He's responsible for the enemy progression in the galaxy.
Yeah, and like picking which places you need to defend and all that stuff. And he's very vocal on Twitter, and so it's just kind of a fun back and forth with the community and him.
Do you have his name on Twitter? I don't think I follow that guy. Do you know what his handle
Joel,
is?
I forgot his name on Twitter now.
Joel at Arrowhead or something?
It's not Joel. It's something else.
Okay.
But I just think it's really fun and interesting. Like, I don't remember another game that's done that recently. I mean, think about talking to like an MMO dev about the MMO. Like, that generally wouldn't happen. And the fact that it's one person, kind of controlling a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, right.
So, we all kind of like, bond together.
So give an example in case people haven't played Helldivers. Tell them what you mean that Joel does.
Yeah, so there's a planet that we need to. There's these orders. They're called major orders, and it means, hey, community, go do this, and if you do this, you'll all receive a bunch of medals for it. Which
like we can use to cash those in for good.
We can use as a resource. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure specifically if you need to have done the missions on that planet to get the reward. I have, so I can't tell if you don't do anything if you still get it, but it seems like you have to like partake in it. And then he'll like pick which planet he'll pick. I mean, behind the scenes, probably like the HP recovery of the enemies and stuff like that. Because basically, if you're not fighting, if the community isn't fighting on this planet to win it over 100%, clear out the bugs or clear out the robots, then the robots or bugs will get HP back.
They like on the planetary scale. They regain.
On the planetary scale, they'll regain. So it's kind of this push-pull thing, which is really interesting. And so he's picking those. He's if we get and we beat it, like right now, everybody like bonded together and beat the mission, and so now we have 4 more days to go, and we've already beat the mission. So he can adjust it if he wants to.
I wish they would just cash that one in and give us a new one because I feel like it's dumb. There's nothing to work towards because it's already done.
Yeah, but you could just play the game and have fun.
Which is true, but like it always feels good to be working towards something, right?
Well, again, that's why I think this is cool. Like in general, that's what's happening in this game. So that's cool. I like the thing that came out recently is kind of a little bit of housekeeping too. Is the devs saw a picture on Twitter. Again, they're very, very tied to the community and what's going on Twitter. And some picture came out and said, Helldivers is better than Halo or something. And they responded. They're like, stop it. They're like, this world needs more compassion. Literally, that's what the devs
Funny
said.
Coming from the people who are doing like managed democracy and this like nihilistic view, which I think is ironic, right? I mean, in a good way, because it shows that they are not. They're crafting an experience on purpose. They're not just like really that dogmatic, in real life and stuff, which would be very unhealthy.
It's very like, tongue in cheek, and they want to, show the absurdity of it all. And what they're basically saying, though, is like, we want people to come together, and that's why we built this game as a PvE game. Like, we want them to have to come together. So it's stupid to like put games against each other. They're like, just play both.
It's funny how many people don't get that, Like, how many people just don't seem to understand. This entire game has been built from the ground up to encourage teamwork and working together and camaraderie. And, like, how many people just fucking don't get it?
I know. That leads into my other point with the meta discussion that we had last night, which is that there is a meta, in quotes, meta to this game where at the higher difficulty levels, you want to have certain loadouts so that you can be successful. But if you're a team leader in this game, you can kick anybody out of your team that joins. So if you have just random people show up and they don't have what you want them to have as a loadout, then they don't get, you can just kick them. I don't know if you could just take away that ability, then maybe this problem would go away, but it's funny because this game is about organic, just craziness happening. And of course, as every single game, community has to come together and be like, well, these are the rules though, And I'm like, no, there's no rules. It's just go and have fun and role play and do whatever you want. But it seems like at high difficulty levels, people are like, no, you have to have a certain loadout.
I mean, in one respect, so number one, I disagree with I agree with what you're saying. And I disagree with the people who are being really strict about it, because I think I don't think there's one way to win. I mean, I don't think there's any one meta strategy that beats anything else. It just really depends on personal skill, like what your strategy is, how hard are you going to go, you're going to try to stealth, you're going to do frontal attack, like what are you doing? So I don't think there's any one way. But I do think that at a certain time, like if you're getting serious about it, right? Like if you've already I've seen some people who are like over level 40 already, dude. And they're called like Deathbringer or something like that is the title they get. And I'm like, holy shit, you put some serious hours in this game. Like if you're at level 40 and you're trying to like finish like the Helldive missions, like the hardest ones, like, okay, that makes sense. Like you probably should get some friends who know what you're doing, or like, get a group together or something so that everybody is real serious. No one's jerking off. Everybody knows their job and stuff. 'Cause that's how you get those missions done. Right. But if you're at a lower level and, you're just like earning samples or something, I mean, just chill the fuck out, dude. It's just like, I don't know. I see why some people might want to be serious, because when you do get to the point where you want to finish something, you gotta go pretty hard. But like at the same time, that doesn't mean you need to squash the newcomers. But then again, newcomers shouldn't be joining in on those missions anyway. I will say, not that I want to agree with the meta people, because I think they're fundamentally wrong, but I have had some examples where I'm at level 22 and I'm doing like a hard mission, the one that's one up from challenging, and they're hard. This is the one where like the giant boss bugs show up. Like they're huge, like as big as a building. And like, you need to really work together or be prepared. And I'll have some hoser who's like level 2 joining in. And I'm like, what the fuck are you even doing here, dude? Like, why would you choose this mission if you're level 2? I know for a fact you don't have anything unlocked. You probably don't even know what's going on. Not that that's a criticism, but like learn the game first. Why would you join some mission that was like really hard in a boss assault when you don't even know what you're doing?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because most people want to try to find a workaround to be like, oh, I'll just take on the hardest thing and get all the stuff right away. You know what I mean? That's why.
All you're doing is killing your team. I hope they learn that lesson.
Well, and to finish that thought about, having certain people at certain levels join, I say if you're going for those craziest levels, Helldive levels or whatever, then just don't open it to the public. Maybe just do friends.
I mean, maybe. But what if you don't have friends who play? That's a concern. I mean,
okay, yeah.
Like when my famous story of me and Chicken Wang and stuff and the wife. It's like I had a friend, if you want to count my wife, because she is a friend and a player, but we didn't have a full squad, so we only had 2 people. We needed one rando who we got lucky with Chicken Wang, and then we had one more rando, so we still needed randos even still, so I can see that there's a need for it, but yeah, you got to coordinate a little bit.
I think that, by the way, this was brought up in a video I was just watching this morning, but if there wasn't a time limit, I feel like people could have more different varied loadouts and just kind of chill more.
What do you mean time limit?
There's a time limit to every mission.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's kind of different. Like, obviously MMO I bring up a lot because there's kind of companion PvE stuff going on those, and there's no time. It's just like go and have fun and fuck around and try to beat the boss. So I don't know. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be time. It makes sense for this, but I think that's why also people are like, we only got a certain amount of time, dude. We got to do this.
Yeah.
Anywho, the other thing I wanted to bring up is to that level of difficulty, this was another video I watched. I watch all the videos now on it. Is that people were saying, like, if you're worried about, say you're playing solo like me, or just with a couple people, and you're doing Helldive and you like fail a bunch, but then you do a couple and you win, and then there's like a percentage of the planet that you're defending or liberating as a global level. And you're like, oh, we just did like 0.003, like what are we doing?
Like towards the global win progress. Yeah.
But then if you just played easy, which is what I'm starting to do, especially after watching this video, and you don't like just do 2 because you fucking died a bunch and you couldn't make any progress, like us last night, and you just played easy and beat fucking 15, you did more. All right? You did more to the planet.
Like so you're saying like a harder difficulty should award you with more, like a larger percentage of success towards the overall like meta goal.
I wasn't saying that it should, but that is a workaround, or that's a fix. But I'm saying like right now, people might be like, oh, you're just playing easy. Yeah, dude. And I fucking helped the planet because I did 15, 20 missions and easily wiped them. You know what I mean? And also left like with super a lot of time left and got myself XP bonus. This is really in the weeds now. But anyways, I just think that it's really interesting that you can actually just play easy and fucking kick it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's what I've been doing and like leveling up like crazy. And I'm sure I'll get to 20 like, I don't know, a couple of days probably by doing it that way. Because I'm leaving early. I'm leaving the planet early, getting tons of XP. So I'll be at 20 probably. And it's like, oh, I could do that, or I could just like kill myself on challenging.
Sure. I mean, theoretically, you could just grind on the easiest missions forever, you could get enough samples to like unlock the battle pass stuff. You wouldn't be able to unlock like the other things because you need to play the higher difficulties. That's where those other resources are. But yeah, I mean, you could level up to infinity and get like the basic stuff all done. But yeah, there's still stuff that would be kind of out of reach forever if you didn't move up the ranks.
Well, like you said earlier, and then one more thing we'll leave and go on. But it is about skill set. I think you might have alluded to this. It's like there's obviously upgrade stuff and cosmetic and whatever, but I feel like it's like, are you good at the game? Because it's fucking hard, Like, yeah. It's about dealing with organic craziness. And this actually dovetails perfectly into my last point, which is RIP Scavengers. A game that I worked with and worked on the team. And
what was the name of that studio?
Midwinter.
And they're no
still
longer
around. No, they're still around.
They are still around. Else. Yeah. They got bought by somebody else, right?
They did, but then they went independent again, and I can't say much about what they're doing. You'll find out.
They went independent again? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Again, I can't speak to too much.
Sure.
But I didn't realize they're doing stuff. And the point is that RIP that game, because we talked about it in the show, I think that Helldivers 2 is successful because it has what Scavengers had. And if you remember that game, it was a third-person PvE, PvP, but a lot of it was PvE, and that's what I enjoyed about it, which is, you remember, you and I played it.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
We would be I liked the sliding, like I said last night. I wish it was in this game. But in Scavengers, there was sliding, running around, slide, a lot more melee in that game, and just like fight bears, fight craziness, fight the storm, fight a lot of stuff you're fighting in Helldivers too, which is the environment, and his enemies. And then you would also like encounter other players. But for me, it was really about coming together and tackling a mission together, PvE. So I just feel like that was a precursor to this game being successful, and no one got to play it really besides
because it got killed. I mean, I think we need to be clear that you were working on it. The studio got bought. They shut that game down. I mean, I went to your studio. Me and my son both went to your studio. We played a bunch of.
Such a fun.
We played with the devs. That was such a fun day, and the game was like so good. Me and my son were raving about it, and in fact, he liked it so much he did some fan art of it. Like later on that day, he drew like pictures of like a giant elephant monster. And he wanted you guys to add some stuff into the game because he had played it, and it was really fun and cute. But I think so. I guess two things. Agree. Also, I do have to wonder how much of that was taken from Helldivers 1, because there's definitely some shared DNA there. So maybe it's one of those cases of like Tomb Raider informs Uncharted, and then the next Uncharted informs Tomb Raider. And the circle continues, right?
Yeah.
But also, I have to wonder, I guess, number one, if they went independent again, like bring Scavengers back? Did that company buy the rights and they can't make it anymore? I guess do something else. But also, this is clearly going to spawn 1,000 clones, right? Like when people see, I mean, I don't know if you noticed this, but on Steam, there was a number of fake Helldivers 2 games put up there.
Yeah.
And Steam started banning
Don't buy
those.
them.
Yeah, don't buy those. But I have to wonder how many like team PvE games are we going to get now? And how many are going to be worth a damn? I mean, probably not many are going to be great, but it'll be interesting to see how this influences the next like year or two to come.
I wouldn't mind more though, because I've been pushing for them since Scavengers. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
I would love Scavengers to come back. It would be great. They should do it.
Scavengers, I don't think is coming back because I can probably.
They could change it. They
directly.
could make it like, I don't know, Scavengers or something.
Nice. No. I mean, there's reasons why it probably can't come back. So, but the point is, other companies will make that game, right? They'll make a Scavengers. It's going to come out.
Yeah,
and it's going to be based on Helldivers 2.
Yeah,
and they don't know it's actually based on Scavengers, but anywho,
which is based on Helldivers.
Yeah, which is based on Helldivers. I'm here for it because I went kind of with our first review. If you think about it, our first review on this podcast of that game, I kind of went kicking and screaming back into it because I was frustrated by a lot of it.
Yeah,
but there's so much of that loop that it's good. And then after I figured out it's why I like it so much is because it has that organic, I don't know what's going to happen, Scavengers vibe. And I just like that. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I have a general idea, but, and again, I'm even playing solo. For me, it's fun because it does feel like a single player, action RPG sci-fi game that changes every time. And so that's how it feels to me. So.
And just to add to that, I mean, if you like that aspect of it, I think the one thing that maybe you're not really getting a lot of that you might enjoy actually is when you do online, multiplayer, you never know what people are going to do, right? And yeah, some people are not great and some people are awesome, but like, I had this one mission where we dropped in and it was shit from the start. Like the guy who chose the mission picked a spot that was way too close to the objective. So we got swarmed like as soon as we touched down. And like two of the people just like bolted. They were just like, one guy went east, one guy went west, and they just like pieced out. But then I tried to like, gain some ground back. And the other guy that dropped with me, a guy or girl, whoever, my fellow Helldiver, they just like totally stuck with me the whole time. And they had no reason to. They could have bounced easily, but they saw that I was kind of making a stand. They stayed with me. We kind of backed each other up. I died, brought him back, or he brought me back. He died, or they died. I brought them back. And like the whole mission was like shit. Like we're eating shit constantly, but we held on just long enough, right? And so like those little moments of like, oh, what's gonna happen, and that save was incredible, and like, I got him back, and I got his thing, I picked up his samples, and we would run, and we ended up finishing the mission by the skin of our teeth, dude. I think we had like a minute 30 left or something before the ship left, and we would have been just like completely fucked at that point.
Yeah.
But like those little organic moments of like when somebody does something really cool, or you're about to get fucked and some rocket comes screaming out of nowhere and blows up the bug that was about to bite your head off or something. Those moments are pretty awesome. And it kind of sounds like in line with what you're enjoying right now.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it definitely opens up new options. It also opens up the option of the people doing bad stuff to you, and then it all goes sideways too. So
sure.
Yeah. Anyways, check out Helldivers 2, obviously, if you're already playing it, probably.
Probably already playing it, but that's the end of the Helldivers cast.
Helldivers cast. By the way, 800,000, I think, was the last number at concurrence.
Wow. Oh, did they raise it again? Jesus.
Yeah, they raised it. And then kind of is in the same vein, because we were just talking about Midwinter and AA Studios and stuff like that, is there's a new trend happening. Obviously, AAA studios are in trouble. There's all these layoffs. It's bad. We won't go into it. You already know. But I think the interesting positive turn is smaller studios, some of them, are buying themselves back from the huge companies that bought them.
Oh, interesting.
Here's an example.
Okay,
yes.
Examples. I love examples.
Remedy just bought itself back. Remedy, who did Control, obviously all the games.
Well, they're huge. I mean,
they're huge. They're big. They're maybe a big AA, but they were bought by 505.
You don't think they count as AAA after Alan Wake 2?
I don't know.
I think they're probably pretty firmly AAA, I think.
Okay, well, either way, they were bought by 505, I believe.
Okay.
And so there was an article that said they just went independent again. So they're back to Remedy, not 505 owning them.
Right.
Another big one was Toys for Bob.
Well, they're dead.
Well, they're dead?
They closed. Yeah, they shuttered.
Why are they in the news for they bought themselves back then?
I mean, did they come back from the dead? Because like 2 shows ago, I announced that they just closed their doors, that they got bought out and shut down and everybody was laid off and stuff. That was 2 shows ago. Has that happened since then?
It has. Okay, here's the article.
So they brought it back to life.
Spyro, Crash developer, Toys for Bob, going indie as a double-edged sword. Toys for Bob departure from Activision may lead more creative freedom and opportunities. Going independent could be in trouble. Yes, I don't know. They're doing it anyhow. They're going
That's
and
weird.
trying to
Maybe okay.
be
What's
their
the
own-
date on that?
That was brand new. That's 1 day ago.
Oh, so maybe they brought themselves back to life. Who knows? Okay.
And then another one was Saber Interactive, which I liked many of their games. They bought themselves back from Embracer Group, which is like just
fuck Embracer,
swallowing up.
dude.
I know.
Fuck those guys.
But okay, this is an interesting trend, isn't it? Like, you know, because of AAA's weird not foresight. What's it when you do it wrong? When you do foresight wrong.
I don't know. 5-side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you know, like the bad predictions at the top level.
Yeah. You've just got really poor management at the top.
Poor
level.
management. Yeah. So some of these studios are like, yeah, we're just gonna go do our own thing now, and it's maybe better, and so it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably me being an independent business for myself for the last 30 years, not in the games field, but in an unrelated field. I mean, I think there's definitely, there's risk, there's reward, but I think with all the implosion of all the big studios and seeing how greedy people are, I mean, most of these closures are like, oh yeah, we got record profits. Oh no, we laid everybody off. Oh yeah, we just did this giant stock buyback. Like, clearly people are manipulating things. People at the top are being really greedy. I don't think people are running businesses legitimately the way they should. Yeah. So in that sense, I think it makes, a really good business decision for a small studio to say, you know what, we're going to take our fate in our own hands because we believe in ourselves, and we're not going to be some stock option for somebody, or we're not going to be the tax write-off for somebody. And, maybe it made sense before to link up with somebody big. They got, more distribution. They've got good, production channels, but I don't think it makes that much sense right now. I think that studios, like you said, going on their own, it probably makes a hell of a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anywho, that's all I got. We got the Hellcast. We got Game Studio Cast. What do you got?
Just a couple things real quick. I wanted to circle back to last week. We talked about Paul Grillberger, who was one of our new Patreon subscribers. Thank you again, Paul. We gave a shout out on the show, and at the time I mentioned that his pledge came to us in pounds. So I assumed that he was in the UK, and I was wrong. I was so wrong. And I want to just do a quick correction. Paul emailed after the show and said he was actually in Vienna, Austria. Okay. But the reason for that the money came through in pounds instead of euros, I guess, was because of, I don't know, some wherever the Patreon thing is located, I guess, converts everything to pounds first. I guess it's like a catch-all for Europe or something. So I wrongly assumed that. I'm sorry, Paul. My apologies, and my apologies to everybody else in Austria who I may have mislabeled as UK people unintentionally, but I guess so he's over there, and that's the situation. So with that, I wanted to share a quick story about Rogue Trader. Yes, I'm still playing Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k. That game is massive. It is a massive game. It's like over 100 hours easily.
Jeez.
Still loving it. It's still fucking awesome. I love it so much. But this one story, I want to this really one thing of like why I love it. Like what's one example? So in this game, you play the Rogue Trader themselves. It's a person who's kind of like outside the law of the Warhammer 40k universe, which is really dogmatic, like really kind of Christian fascist kind of parody sort of thing. And you're like kind of like on the outskirts of that. And so at one point you're kicking around the galaxy. You've got a lot more freedom than most people do. You're kind of trailblazing for the Empire. And you have to get these documents. You have to get this paperwork in order. And so in order to do this, you need to go to the world of bureaucracy. And it's not what it's called. It's called something else. But like you get there and the whole world is just like these giant buildings of like file cabinets and books and stacks of paper and like all this stuff. And everybody in there is just like a bookkeeper type person. And you get in there and they just do not care who you are. They're like, yeah, you're the protagonist of this game. Don't give a fuck. You get in line with everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And so it's basically like the interstellar version of the DMV on a galactic scale.
Oh my god.
There's like thousands of people who have been in line at this space DMV for like months and years just waiting to get through the line. And so you get there and you're at the back of the line. You're like, fuck this. I'm too important for this stuff. I got shit. I got to save the galaxy. I can't stay here forever. And so like this entire quest, instead of going to kill a bunch of monsters or whatever, it's like you got to figure out a way to like jump the line in the DMV. It was so fucking interesting and fun and creative. Like, and there's lots of different ways to do it. And of course, because it's 40k, one of your choices is kill everybody here. You can do that if you want to. I chose not to do that. But you can also like, talk to people. Hey, guy ahead of me in line, what are you here for? And then you find out what he needs. And maybe you can solve it for him. Like sometimes you solve people's problems, get them out of line. Sometimes you just throw your weight around and go, you know what? I'm more important than you. Get the fuck out of line. And they go, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they move.
That's funny.
It's just really funny. And like just the idea that this like all-powerful protagonist of this giant game who is the hero is stuck in line like every other schlub at the DMV was just so funny. And it was just like, just really entertaining and clever. And it's one of the reasons why I love that game so much. I still, even after pimping it so hard in the show, I don't hear anybody talking about it, which is a shame. Because if you like 40K, or if you like Baldur's Gate, or if you like a PC RPG, that kind of style, this is fucking great, dude. Like, Rogue Trader is the shit. I need more people to play this game. Anyway.
Dude, that whole mission reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Do you remember that movie and book?
I know of it. I have never read the book. I have not seen the movie.
Pause. Press pause.
Pause.
Which is name of my old show.
Go do it. Go do it now. Read the book right now.
No.
And then come back.
No, I'm pausing for you. What the hell?
It's always been on the periphery, dude. It's always one of those things that I've heard about a million times. I've just never made time for it.
Okay. I don't know. Wait, are you a sci-fi comedy person, though? I feel like
maybe.
not.
I mean, I read, so Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide, he also wrote Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
You read some of those. Okay.
I read that. And so that was like pretty funny. And then I'm like, okay, good. I'm good on Douglas Adams. I'm ready to move on to something else. And I have it. I have the books, but I didn't read that series. I read his other series.
It. It's not you then. I don't think it's you. Although Dirk Gently is not as good as Hitchhikers, but I'm a crazy fan of Douglas Adams, and I read everything he's ever done, including his memoir and stuff. But the point is, the movie, which is an easy watch because it's like great cast, very fun. Mm-hmm. That movie has a line or a whole section that's also in the book, which is a DMV kind of scene, and they're all like queuing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, it's like more on the British side. It's like, oh, I know how to queue, and they just kind of stand there for a while.
Right.
Anyways, that's awesome. I'm gonna probably go back to that game at some point. I don't know why I haven't. I feel like I would like it a lot too.
You might like it. I mean, I think it helps if you already like 40K because you're getting the references, you're getting what they're doing. But even if you don't know 40K, even if you are not familiar with it, I think there's a lot to like here. But it definitely helps if you like 40K. But anyway, fantastic game.
Right.
Last thing I want to do is I want to just pause for a second and give an official Videogames review score to a game we covered last week, Captain Velvet Meteor.
Yeah.
And the Jump Plus Dimensions. So that game is great. I covered it last week and gave it basically like a full star glowing review. I mean, I had a great time with it. In case you missed last week's episode where we covered it in greater detail, it's basically a turn-based tactics kind of a game starring a little boy who is relocated from France. His parents, one parent is French and the other parent is Japanese. I don't know which one's which, but they decide to move from France to Japan. He goes through a lot of like difficulties. He, doesn't have any friends. He's in a new place. He's in a new house. His life is kind of turned upside down. And so he retreats to his safe space, which is manga. And so he has a bunch of manga in his room. He reads a bunch of them. And whenever he encounters some situation in his real life, he goes into his fantasy world where he goes from being this little kid into being Captain Velvet Meteor. So this translates into doing like walking around his house in real time, exploring things in his house. And then when you hit a situation, like for example, an angry dog, that's the first boss. His dog is growling at him and he's afraid he's going to get bitten. He goes into his imagination and he goes turn-based tactics. And then it's like a whole series of levels culminating in a boss battle against a dog. And it's just really fun and cute. It uses real manga characters that are in there. So I think that anybody who is familiar with that material will recognize a lot of these people and will know who they're from. I mean, I wasn't familiar with them, and I had a great time anyway. So I don't think that it's necessary to be familiar with these people. I think the game stands on its own, and I think that the real joy of this game is the incredibly streamlined turn-based tactics system that they've implemented. I've never played anything else like it. And I think it's really clever and fresh and new. It's super fast. It's super streamlined. You just boom, 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 go through levels. And I think the story is really cute as well. Graphics presentation is really sharp. I mean, everything about it is just great. I didn't really have any complaints about it like whatsoever. And I think that anybody who's a fan of turn-based tactics should check it out. Anybody who likes, the manga stuff that they're referring would also be behoove to check it out. I think they would really enjoy that as well. So it's a real bright star in this year that I think most people are not grokking, and it's kind of a shame. So I wanted to just take a minute to circle back and give it an official review score so we could get it on the board at Metacritic. I love Captain Velvet Meteor. I think it's great. I think everybody who likes turn-based tactics should give it a shot. And as for Videogames, the official score 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good score.
That is a good score, especially coming from me because I am stringent on my scores.
Yeah.
But this game is the shit. It's really, really good, and I hope that people give it a chance. All right, that was a wild and woolly and chaotic housekeeping, but we got through it, and now we are going to kick it off to the main portion of the show. But before we do that, just a quick reminder that you can help support this very podcast, the one you're listening to literally right now, by going to patreon.com/the So Video Games Podcast. Every little bit helps with the ever-increasing cost of hosting. Also helps us upgrade our equipment and pick up any games for the show if we're not able to get codes. Also, if you chip in at the $5 or I guess the £5 level, you will be invited by me personally to join our members-only Discord. However, whether you contribute or not, we will never paywall any content. You'll still get the same great show for free every week because we love you. Okay.
We do. And I'm going to raise that price at some point.
At some point, we're going to raise the price. All right, Carlos, main portion of the show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And you were kicking it off with a game I was very surprised to see you choose, Furnish Master. Tell me about Furnish Master.
Well, I'll tell you why I am playing this game and I'm interested in it and have been interested in it. And you'll understand why, actually, after
Because you like furniture?
No, it has nothing to do with that. So, and again, the backstory here is that I have like a one-room, teeny little place, and it hasn't changed for years. And, you know, I wouldn't mind having something different, let's just say, or even other rooms to do things in, like an apartment, I guess, is what you call it.
An apartment is, I think that's the correct word for it, yes.
A one-bedroom apartment. I don't know what that is. So this game is just a simple indie game that I watched pop up on a trailer somewhere on Steam. It's in early access. I just kind of like hit the little button that said wish list and also like tell me when this is ready, because what it is, and it tells its story so well in its trailer, which is you basically have these little apartments and rooms in the apartments, and it's kind of a cube with like nothing around it, that kind of diorama.
Is this like top down? Is it like Ant Farm view? Like, what are we talking about?
Well,
First person?
Does diorama help, or maybe not? But third perspective diorama.
Like you're looking from the side, or what?
Like,
or no?
I guess diorama does not describe.
I don't know. It could be either way. I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm going to say the description in the game. It says It's a relaxing game about furnishing apartments, houses, and commercial real estate, and even outdoor territory. It comes with economic elements. Besides the furniture, you can buy new properties, which help you earn extra money, and you can buy more places. But basically, yeah, it's a relaxing kind of third-person perspective of a house that you can flip around. You know, like the inside of a house, like SimCity, right?
Okay.
Or inside of a room, and you can spin it around in perspective, so any way you want to see it from any angle. And it's these beautiful, very simple graphics that are like just relaxing to look at, even. And the trailer, like it says, is in the sandbox mode. You're just putting things down. You're making these little apartments. And what attracted me to it in the beginning was like, yeah, I have this little room. I can't change too much of it. This allows you to have anything you want, and to just make stuff and feel comfortable in it. I think, again, there's a couple games we played in the show that have been like this, where you just create these little sets and kind of check them out. In a kind of similar setting as SimCity or The Sims, right? You make these kind of fictitious worlds that you don't have, but you kind of live through them. That makes sense. Does any of this make sense?
I get you.
Yeah, if you, by the way, just type in Furnish Master in Steam, you'll know what I mean in like 2 seconds.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, so but yeah, these little sets, and you basically can just build like your own little setup, which is like a desk with a computer. I mean, down to the granular level of you build your PC, put your PC there, you put your chair, you put stickers on the computer, like you can go that deep of a level.
Gotcha.
The little lamp on the desk, lamps on the light, everything just feels cozy to do. And I think I should have probably said this in the beginning. The Animal Crossing vibe you get, if you get a vibe from Animal Crossing, making all that stuff in that game,
gotcha.
It's that. But then on top of that, there's a story element, and there's puzzles and things like you have to do to like I alluded to earlier, to make money, to buy more stuff to put in these rooms. But then there's also also mentioned in the description, real estate and stores and stuff that you can mess around with. So you can like, build stuff within a storefront and work on the shelves and stuff. So it is endlessly relaxing to me. And even the puzzle stuff and the things you need to figure out are fun. Like it's not like difficult. There was literally an actual puzzle on a wall that I had to find all the puzzle pieces for and then put that puzzle together, which was kind of fun. But yeah, this is a very relaxing game made by one person, Alex.
Wow. Alex made this. Okay,
yeah, Alex.
great.
We all
Excellent.
know Alex. And it's on early access right now for $15. I would even call it more than early access. It feels like a full game because it's got a story stuff, these missions. It's got a sandbox mode that you unlock stuff from the story that go into the sandbox mode. And yeah, it's just relaxing and cozy. And I can't recommend it more enough. If you like The Sims or Animal Crossing, that kind of vibe, that's what this game is.
What about like unpacking? Is unpacking kind of an
yes, and
corollary
unpacking too. I could have started with that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's got
Excellent,
that small kind of like little microscopic kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it looks like very small, very cute. The art is definitely very cute. It looks very polished. I mean, if I looked at this, I wouldn't say that it looked early access to me. So
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
This seems like a complete game. I think the only early access probably is part of the mission stuff that's not finished. But the sandbox mode is like endlessly fun and relaxing to do. I can't find a con about it really. Like I just had a lot of fun and was super relaxed. And it's still installed and I'm going to always go back to it.
I mean, sometimes games just don't have a con. It doesn't happen every day, but it does happen for sure. Maybe this is one of those rare gems.
I dig it. I want people to play it. If you like that vibe and you want to also say you're like me and you don't have, the ability to change your place much and you wouldn't mind having like almost endless funds to just mess around with your house, and by the way, you can also add pets. I added a cat to my bed. So you can like put a cat down.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That tracks.
The cat doesn't run around, by the way. It's not like an interactive Sims cat or something.
Is he paralyzed?
No, it's like more like an object, really.
Oh, okay.
It's a vibe. You're creating a vibe.
Thought maybe you set up like a little shelter for paralyzed cats or something. You'll have the little cat wheelchairs or whatever, no?
That makes it sad.
Well, you could be helping them rehab, bring joy
That's
to
true.
these
That's
disabled cats' lives. That's cool.
Yeah, it's more like my cat that I have, which is a stuffed animal cat. So it feels like that.
It's more just like a furnishing in the shape of a cat.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyways,
cool. That
check
sounds like a
out-
big win. Big
yeah,
win.
Furnish Master on Steam.
Excellent. All right, cool. That's very exciting. All right, cool. Let me pivot really quickly to a game that you talked about last week. That was also kind of a big win, and I'm going to actually double down on your big win. King Arthur Knight's Tale.
Oh, you got it. That's right.
I did. Okay, for those who missed last week's episode, this was a code we got unsolicited. They just sent us a code, and nobody at Game Critics wanted to cover it.
But also background, I've been wanting to play this game for a while.
Yeah.
You've
been following it, and yes. I'd seen it. I mean, I knew of it, but I didn't know the details. I didn't know the nitty gritty or what it was really about. It looked to me like another random medieval game that I was like, whatever, not my jam. So we had this code kicking around for a while, and then you had a free day, and you're like, man, send me something. And I'm like, okay, cool. And you chose this. I sent it to you, and you like raved about it. You were like exploding with joy. I'm like, whoa, what? That caught me by surprise, right? And so you talked about it last week on the show. You loved it. Like you said, everything about it was great. You sold me on it like hardcore. I got a copy of the game, and I realized as soon as I was opening the game and starting it up, it's by Neocore, which I didn't know. And if I had known that, I probably would have played this game a long time ago, because Neocore are the people who make Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr, which is like my favorite Diablo-like of all time.
That's right. I think you texted me that. I was like, yeah.
I was like, oh my God, all you had to do was tell me Neocore. I would have ran to my console to buy this because I love Neocore. So I got the game and I played it after you sold me on it. And man, you were just like, everything you said last week was correct. I mean, you were dead on target. This game kicks ass. It's really, really good. So I feel bad now that I didn't notice it was from Neocore, and I feel double bad I didn't play it earlier. I should have played this months ago. I wish I had. But basically, if you missed last week's show, let me recap it real quick. You play Mordred, who is the enemy of King Arthur. In the opening cutscene, Mordred and King Arthur kill each other. They both they die like, the mutual sword stab that's so dramatic in medieval movies. He stabs him, the other guy stabs him. They both fall down dead, and then you get brought back to life as a reanimated. I mean, you're not a zombie. I mean, you're like you still have your mental faculties. You're still a person, but you're definitely undead. And so the game presents you with a choice right off the bat. You can either continue being evil Mordred and try to take over Camelot and England and the surrounding areas, or you can pivot and be like, actually, I don't want to be evil anymore. I can be like a more chill, laid back dude, and you can resurrect, the goodness in the land. Right. Something weird's going on with King Arthur. You don't know what it is, but something's definitely sus about him. So you got to figure that out at a later date. But you have to kind of pick one of these paths, good or evil, basically. And then you proceed through the land. Now, there's lots of stuff to this, and you covered a lot. I don't want to like rehash the whole thing, but basically, excellent turn-based tactics where you have a team of knights. You kind of recruit them as you go. Some will join, some will leave even if you do choices that they don't like. Like there are certainly people who are more evil. There are certainly people who are more good, and they kind of like track your choices. So you can do that. There's also, I think, permadeath if you turn that on. I do not do permadeath
I do
anymore.
not do that. Yeah.
No, I'm too old for that. But you can do that if you wish. But then you get to these lands where you're walking around. Like the first couple levels, like you're walking around the castle, or you're walking around the village, and then when you get into a fight, like you come across some bandits or robbers or whatever, it switches into grid-based, turn-based tactics, and then all your knights can move and they sword swing. I picked up a archer lady and stuff like that. So I think the tactics are really, really, really good. It's interesting because your knights and the way that they've implemented that is it makes sense. Like your range is pretty short because you're wearing heavy armor. The way that you do Overwatch, I think, is really funny, and I enjoy it a lot, where you kind of Overwatch, and instead of something like XCOM where you're Overwatching like 50 squares ahead of you, you Overwatch like 2 squares ahead of you because it's whoever you can reach that comes.
Yeah.
That is really funny, and it also makes perfect sense, and I thought it works really well. So if you position your guys to have a good Overwatch barrier, no one can get through you, which, makes perfect sense.
And it's also like who you have with you in your party too.
Exactly.
I had this one person who just go anywhere and do anything. And I forgot. Yeah, it's interesting that you can not have certain people. Like you and I can have a different team,
Yeah, we might end up with a totally different team. Or like maybe I would like have one guy for a while, but then I would either make choices that are too good and he would leave if he's evil, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So that whole thing goes on. And then you got your home base of the castle, which has different facilities to it. Like there's like an infirmary, there's stuff you can build up and expand, like different, you're basically, building up your whole castle to take over the region rather than just doing level to level. You're kind of like investing in the area, whether you're good or bad, either way. So I think it comes from an overhead isometric perspective, which I think really works well. And I think like the graphics are good, like the systems are good. Everything about this game is really great. I mean, some of the menus are a little bit in depth. I wouldn't mind a little bit streamlining some of the menus, like when you're doing your gear and stuff, but totally not that big a deal. And I think it plays excellently. I was having a great time with it. So you were totally right. This is a good pick. I wish I had gotten to this sooner. I have to apologize to Neocore. If I had known they made this game, I would have jumped on it a million years ago. So I feel bad that I didn't realize it was their game. But yeah, King Arthur Knight's Tale is fucking awesome. And if you, again, I realize I just said this, and I guess looking at the show, I think maybe today is going to be the turn-based tactics game or show for me, because 3 out of the 4 I'm bringing are turn-based tactics. But this is good. It's really good. If you like turn-based stuff, this is the shit, dude. It's really good. Don't miss it.
It makes me happy when either of us turn each other on to a game, and then we're like, yeah, that's it.
Oh man, this is like totally my jam, dude. It's like 1000% my jam. It's really good. It's really
also
good.
Not mentioned, but I think I mentioned last episode is that each of those characters have different abilities too.
Oh yeah, so they'll act differently.
It's not just like a knight feudal war kind of game. It's like I did magic stuff that was crazy. There's a lot of enemies that do magic abilities to you, And
yeah.
I fought bosses and stuff. It feels very fantasy. And I think the only con I would say, because I was saying earlier there wasn't a con in Furnish Master, is that I don't think I'd understand if there's any difference between good and bad. Like, it all just feels like everything's bad.
It definitely has that tinge to it for sure. I'm not far enough to say for sure, but it may just affect your team, your party members maybe, or maybe there's more choices down the line. I'm not sure. But yeah, just because you choose the good path doesn't mean you automatically become like this good guy. You still are kind of an asshole and stuff.
Yeah, so. But also I think that's what they're going for. The vibe of this game, which could be in like the box quote, is it's got a Game of Thrones vibe. In my opinion, I don't know.
Like everybody's dirty, kind of nihilistic a little bit. Yeah.
Because the last mission I just did, I was like, there was a person who said they were good the whole time. At the end, they were like the worst person.
Right.
Oh yeah, everybody's terrible. Like it just felt like everybody's shitty.
Yeah, it is kind of one of those vibes for sure.
Yeah. Dig the game.
Anyway,
awesome.
King Arthur Knight's Tale, fucking awesome. That was a great recommend from you, Carlos. I'm glad we got to it, and apologies to Neocore for not getting to it sooner. My bad, because this is absolutely my shit. So, okay, definitely check that out for sure. Moving on, Carlos. Resistance Retribution was not a game I thought we would ever be talking about from this point
Nice.
forward. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure where this came from, but fill me in, my friend.
Well, okay. The first thing is when you're poor and you don't have much money, you go immediately turn to the systems that you have that you've paid monthly charges for, like your Game Pass and your PlayStation Plus, whatever my level is, and you go get free games.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why we're talking about it. There's the full disclosure, as you say. But the other reason is I think I saw something about it because it's from Ben Studios.
Oh man, Ben Studios.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But this is before Days Gone, because I mean I love Days Gone and that's like the best game they've ever made for me. But I was also a fan of what was it, Siphon Filter?
Siphon Filter,
That was
yeah.
pretty. That was pretty legit back in the day. That was all right.
I know. I brought up their Wikipedia or whatever, and it's Siphon Filter. It's Resistance Games, which I didn't know they did.
Now wait a minute. I thought Insomniac worked on Resistance games? Am I wrong?
No, yeah, Resistance Games proper, right? But Resistance, Retribution, and then Uncharted games for the portables. So
is this a portable game?
yes, this is a PSP game.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then they worked on Uncharted games for the Vita. So that's kind of how they got their feet wet.
Yeah, they
and-
started with like Siphon Filter and then they went to the PSP. Yeah, all their PSP games.
and
yeah.
PS Vita, and then they went to Days Gone. So they kind of jumped up after Siphon Filter and Resistance.
Oh, you surprised me, my friend, because I was just about to say I think Resistance sucks. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, this is the one good one. I think I remember liking this
Nice.
one because it was Ben Studios.
Well, it was also different graphics,
Yeah, different thing.
They
Yeah.
don't fully hold up, and the only reason, again, like I'm playing it, is PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Plus will do these random games, like a lot of older games, and just you can stream them, and you can like play this old back catalog. Xbox does the same thing, and so I just saw it, and then I saw Bend, and I was like, wait, what? I don't remember them making this game. And I had an okay time with that Resistance franchise, but I just wanted to check it out. So yes, it's PSP game blown up on a big screen, so the text is big.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And it's not 100%. But at the same time, it's just an interesting, more like a history thing, where like the game isn't great and the shooting feels kind of bad at times, but the main character is kind of funny, and I can see little glimpses of like story bits that went to Days Gone. Like when you have writers and you have devs, they evolve, and just like any art form.
You can recognize their signatures, their styles.
Yes,
for sure.
yeah. And this character is kind of like a badass, and like not everybody likes him, And I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting protagonist that will slip into some of the stuff I see in Days Gone. So that's why I'm playing it. I'm still playing it because it's kind of easy. Turn on easy mode. You can save at any point, right? A lot of these older games will allow you to
That's
do that.
nice. I like when they do that.
Yeah, it's a save point, like an emulator. So I'll probably beat it, right? I'm just going to go through it. But it's the shooting's rough, and it's not like super fun to play. But I can see a lot of the bones. It's like
So there's
interesting.
something there, just from like an educational perspective, right? Like a
Yeah.
look back into the earlier days of this developer that we both really like. It's funny you bring this up because, I was about to shoot my mouth off because I do think that the mainline Resistance games are boring as fuck. And coming from Insomniac, who are, really well known for like colorful, exciting, vibrant games, they went like really like brown and grimdark for these, and I don't think it served them well. They're really boring games. But the PSP versions of a lot of these I think are actually pretty good. Ben did a lot of really good work on the PSP. And some of their stuff went like when they appropriate these other franchises. I guess maybe appropriate is not the right word. When they they guest star in some of these franchises or whatever.
Yeah,
those are some of my favorite ones. So I think that like that it probably doesn't hold up these days, but it really shows that they knew what they were working with. They had a good grasp of it. And I think a lot of the larger franchises, which I didn't care for back then, I actually did like on the PSP. There's one other one. Oh man, there's another one. What is the it's not Resistance. What's the other shooter that was big on the PlayStation where the bad guys looked like they were like Nazis? He had like the black armor and the red eyes.
Wolfenstein.
It's a shooter. It's a first. No. Well, no. It's like a sci-fi.
Well, Ben didn't do it because Ben only did Uncharted and Resistance.
Well, no, I was going to bring it up because it was a good example of that shooter. Oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. Like it was really popular back then, but They did a PSP version. I don't think it was Ben, somebody else, but like the PSP version was the best version.
Oh, I see.
And the one that was on like PS4 or whatever, PS3 at the time was like ass.
Yeah.
God, what was it called? I'm gonna look it up. I can't remember, but
You look it up. But I'll say this. I think more and more, it is good to go back and just like get history lessons and understand where games came from, and especially studios and stuff. So for me, it was more an educational thing. And
Killzone.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think the Uncharted Golden Abyss that they did was really good too. And remember, you got to think about these on a small screen, right? At the time they came out, like that's pretty damn good. So, anywho, I just played it for like kind of the idea of going back. And it's fun. By the way, I will do this tangent. I was going to do it later, but I'm going to do it now because we're both talking about developers. Do you remember back when we were young in the 80s? I didn't know any fucking developers. Like, it was TurboGrafx. It was Nintendo. It was Sega. And that was it. Like, I didn't know that people made games even. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I didn't know developers, but I knew publishers.
Right,
Some.
that's all we knew.
I knew, and not even the big ones, not even like the console makers like Nintendo, but like I knew Konami. Like back in the day,
right?
Like on the Nintendo, you saw the Konami symbol, you're like, well, that's a good game because Konami makes good games, and they did. You could buy any fucking game they made back then, and it would be a good ass game. I knew Capcom, Mega Man.
That's true. I guess
stuff.
we knew those names. I knew them more for the arcade though.
I mean, yeah, it depends on what your experience was or whatever. But just that, right? It was a long time before I realized, oh, I can look up the actual people who are making this game, and there's a studio of people who made this game for Capcom, and what's that all about? And like, it's kind of like when you watch movies as a kid, you don't think about the director and the producer, but then once you're older, you realize how things are made, you kind of like hip yourself to the behind the scenes of it and everything. So
I think I think younger people now do think about developers more because it is into the front of everything. Like
more common to look at it that way these days. Yeah.
But just interesting. I was thinking as I'm going through all this developer stuff, I was like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, is it TurboGrafx? Did they make it?
Yeah. Is it a Nintendo game?
Is it a Nintendo game? Yeah, cool. And then a logo would pop up, and I'd be like, whatever. Like,
yeah, who's this? What's that about?
I don't care about the logo. Yeah. Can I play Bonk?
Exactly. Well, you also bring up an interesting point, Carlos, inadvertently, but I think you still brought it up anyway, was you said this is kind of like a look into the past for this game. We know Bend. We like Bend. And then you playing this game is like a look back into what they're doing. And I think that's great. I wish we could do that more often. We talk about like archiving and the history of games that we're kind of just like throwing away because there's no monetization of it. But it's just like you would read the latest book from your favorite author, you might be inspired to go back and read what was their first book and then what was their third book, and you can see how their style has developed, right? Or like if your favorite movie, your favorite director, like what is, whatever, Kubrick or something, like what's his last film? What's his first film? What's the difference? And you can see the growth and evolution of your favorite creators, this thing that I really liked in his last book. Oh, this is like the beginning of it in his first book. And I see how he grew. We need to do that for games because it totally applies to games as well. Like some concepts that some developers are working on, you can see them grow and change over time, and you can see just the ideas that have been germinating and the different ways they've developed those things. We should be doing that and treating games just like any other medium, but it is so fucking hard to do with games because platforms expire and the discs get scratched or whatever, like no one can find the game to download anymore or whatever, delisted. We gotta start getting better at this for exactly this reason. I think a little history lesson to appreciate the medium is something we should be doing a lot more.
Well, a big part of that is the publishers / console owners / console companies need to work on what we've said for years, which is the preservation of games.
Yeah.
And they can do that because games exist as ROMs or data that just need to live on a server somewhere. And you can even like go in and turn off like online functionality. You know what I mean? Like you can make an online game an offline game.
Yeah.
There's ways to do that. It costs some money, it costs some time, but whatever. And to that point, by the way, in Ben Studios Wikipedia, do you know that they worked on Bubsy 3D?
Did they really? That's funny.
That is baffling. Talk about a turnaround. 1996, they worked on that game, which is, one of the worst 3D platformers ever.
Sure. Everybody's got something they're not proud of,
But then right after that,
closet.
Yeah, right after that, Siphon Filter. And people are like, holy shit, who are these people?
Big turnaround, for sure.
All right, next game.
Right on. So this one, very interesting. This is the only non-turn-based tactics game I'm bringing to the show today. It's called Penny's Big Breakaway. You've heard of it?
Nope.
This is something I bet you would be pretty into if you're in the mood for a platformer. This one is kind of surprising to me. I heard a little bit about it before release, but I dug into it this week. And I got to say, it's kind of like a really good winner. It's a great game. It reminds me a lot of a long lost Sega classic. It feels specifically like maybe even like a Saturn game specifically. If anybody's old enough or has ever had the privilege of playing a Saturn back in the day, you might know what I mean. But if you don't know what I mean, people kind of like approaching 3D worlds, like really polygonal graphics, like experimenting with like jumping and different things. Like the Saturn had some good stuff going on. I don't know that it's ever going to be my favorite console, but there was definitely some games that are noteworthy on there. And it has that same kind of vibe. Penny's Big Breakaway feels so much like an old Sega classic in terms of the art design, the angularness of the world and the characters, the colors they chose, really, really bright, like kind of like circus type palette. The music is really peppy and upbeat. I mean, if you close your eyes and squint, you would be like, oh wait, I'm playing a Sonic game, but it's actually a good one. That's weird. How is this so good? It's really good. You start as this little girl. I don't quite know what's going on with this world. It's pretty abstract, and I think you just need to roll with it. She's like this little girl, and she's in this world, and she has a yo-yo, which is also alive. It's a general yo-yo that does lots of different things, but when it holds still, it has like a mouth and like teeth in it, and it's kind of gross. Oh. I don't really love the way the yo-yo looks when it's not moving, but in general, it's a yo-yo that lets her grab onto things like a grappling hook. She can shoot it in the air, and it just stays there to use it as kind of like a double jump. She can use it to pull things towards her. It grows big, and she can ride it like a big ball. There's like a slew of things she can whip it around herself to like beat enemies off away from her. That was weird. I didn't mean to say that. So she can do lots of stuff with this yo-yo, really well implemented, like a bunch of things. And you go through these levels that are kind of like Sonic levels in the sense of they really emphasize forward momentum for the most part. I mean, there's definitely some open areas where you can kind of walk around a little bit, but like once you start like getting into the meat of it, a lot of these levels like really want you to go forward. They want you to go fast, and they want you to like jump and double jump and swing and slide and roll and go up these ramps and just collect these little doodads. You're collecting coins or whatever it is, and then get to the end of the level. There's like a little like score depending on how many things you found and how many bits you got. So it has that kind of like quasi arcadey, like late 90s feel, but it's really polished. Like they've fixed a lot of the things that people were kind of trying to figure out back then. So if you try to look at like what Sonic did, like they try to get you go fast and the camera doesn't quite work and the jumping doesn't quite work. These people have been like, oh wait, we know how to fix that. And then they do, and they fix it. So it's like getting that same concept, that same vibe, that same juice, but like taking all of the rough edges off of it and just really making it work with today's technology, with today's sensibilities, the things we've learned over the last, decade or whatever. So I think if you want a really colorful, high energy, cute, like it's almost like a retro vibe, but it's not retro. Like it's all modern. Like it's polished and it makes sense and it comes together. It's just a really, really cool, exciting, high action game. I think a lot of people really like this one.
It looks like that game that failed, that was trying to be like it came from the studio that made all those kind of old school 90s types games that look like this. I'm not going to remember what this is called. What's that game that flopped?
And Are you thinking of the one that came from Square?
I don't know. You could join. No, it wasn't Square. It was Rare. Wasn't it Rare? That you could join. You could like become a bunch of different bodies. That each body had a different ability, and it was like masks and something to do with costumes.
I think
it's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me.
Well,
we don't know it now.
Well, let me keep talking. You look it up. See if you can find it.
Okay, but I get the vibe, which is that it is that kind of like polygonal platformer that just is smooth and like it feels like retro. But it's done well, it seems.
Yeah, it's done really well. I think it's really pleasant to play. There's just like a few small complaints about it. I think so. Overall, very cool. Like I want that to be the takeaway. Overall, very cool, very successful. I think this has the spirit and the vibe of old school games, but does them one better. The only complaints I really have is that I think the controls just need a little bit of work. And for me specifically, in fact, now I'm not sure if you can change the controls, but the double jump is not on the jump button. It's like because you have to use the yo-yo to make a jump, it kind of like weirds my brain out because what I want to do is jump again, and then she can just shoot the yo-yo out, even though I'm not using the yo-yo button. Just let me just have the jump all in the same button, but instead you jump, but then you do the yo-yo button instead of the jump button. So whenever I try to do a double jump, it took me a frighteningly long time to get used to the fact that not all jump functions are on the same jump button.
Yeah.
So that was weird. That was kind of a weird choice. I don't know that I like that. I want to change that a little bit. I will also say that because these levels kind of funnel you forward and want you to keep moving forward, and it's like it works perfectly when you're doing it. If for whatever reason you miss like a power up or a doodad, a collectible or something, you're like, oh, I just missed that jump. I gotta go back. This kind of level doesn't work that great when you need to go back, right? Like everything is meant for you to go forward. So the camera's in the right place, the level's at just the right angle. You can see into the background, and so you know where you're going. But if you're like, whoa, put on the brakes, I got to go back and get that coin or whatever, that's a little kludgy. I mean, you can still do it, but you definitely get the sense of like, oh, haha, you actually don't want me to go backwards, do you? This doesn't feel very good at all. So, but that's, again, a small complaint. I think overall, smooth, polished, good vibe, good music. I love the colorful graphics. They're very reminiscent of Saturn stuff, old Sega stuff, Sonic, anything like that, except it actually works this time. And it's just really fast-paced and kinetic, and I just think it works really well. I haven't played something like this in quite a while, and I think these developers have really got their finger on the pulse, man. I think they kind of nailed it.
Check it out. And also, here's my follow-up. One, the game I was thinking was Balan Wonderland.
That's what I was thinking of. That's from Square, isn't it? Balan Wonderland?
Was it Square? Okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
And it failed, but it had the kind of old retro feel, and I did play it for a while until I got bored. And then also, other tangent for you, there's a game called Lunistis, and it's on the Switch, and it's also a 90s platformer.
How do you spell it?
Like Saturn. Lunistice. And this is from 2022, so it came out a while ago. But yeah, I was just typing in like Saturn games, and it came up as a platformer, and it looks just like a platformer.
Oh, my wife played this.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, she said it was really way too hard, but she played it. She finished it, but she was really angry by the end of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So,
anywho, 90s.
Good call, though. Good call. Yeah, same vibe.
Yeah.
Moving on after that awkward silence, that was Penny's Big Breakaway. That is definitely, check it out, for sure. That's a good one.
Check it out.
Carlos, you're bringing up a game again. You're full of surprises this episode. I would never have guessed any of these. Narco Terror? I laugh just at that title. I don't know anything about it, but please tell us about Narco Terror.
Let's go back to what I said earlier about my other game, about, being broke.
Yes.
It's called another game that was streamable on my PlayStation Plus. I did play some Game Pass games too.
Pause for a second here.
Yeah.
You're like me. You must have 1,000 games in your backlog, right? This is a good time to go through your backlog, right? You must have billions.
Oh, that's true. Well, you know me and new experiences. I always want new ones. Also, the main reason I played this one was not only because it was not on my backlog and it was something new, because I'm watching literally a series called Narco Mexico.
Yes.
So I'm all things Narco right now, and that's why. That's why I played this.
All right.
So I saw that, and I was like, because I typed in Narco just randomly in PlayStation. I do the same thing on Xbox. And it's like you pick a word. And sometimes, by the way, here's a pro tip. You want to find an old game that you didn't know about that might be on your backlog or that you never even knew existed, like this one, Narco Terror. Just type a word in to your search on your console. Have you done that? I bet you haven't.
No, probably not, because I usually have more games than I can handle, and so I don't like track some down, but I can see how that might be interesting. I mean, discoverability is something that I think everybody struggles with, and there's so many games out there. If I was to go to like the PlayStation Store, I don't know, maybe that would be a fun activity I could do for just like see what I could dig up.
Can you do that for next episode? Because and everybody listening, can you all do that? Because it's interesting. I went and just typed in a word. You can type in like magic, right? And then nothing after that. Don't type a name of a game. Just type in a search word, old school. Okay, you could just on your console or in your computer as well. But most people are logged in. Not logged in. So you do that, and then not only will you get like old games that are streamable, like on both systems. Or on Switch, something similar. But you'll get like, weird DLC. You'll get games that are no longer available. You might have to find them somewhere else. But it is search, And like this, you'll find games you didn't know existed at all. And have an interesting backstory that I'll tell you about now.
Okay.
Narco Terror is a twin-stick shooter. And this is the description, where you blow things up a lot.
Nice.
That's all it is. Third-person twin-stick shooter, like a Diablo, like any kind of shooting game, Inquisitor even, that kind of angle. Small little character runs around, blows things up. And it feels like a twin-stick shooter version of Just Cause, which is a really cool combination in my book. and put out by Deep Silver, by the way. And then the developer, just talk about the developer for a minute because we were on this kind of vibe, is called Zootfly.
I have heard of their name before.
You have?
I have heard of them, yes.
Okay. Well, they're a Slovenian developer, and they worked on another game, and then I'll get to the game in a minute. And they worked on a game that you might have played called Marlowe Briggs and the Mask of Death.
Oh, that game is actually, it's on my hard drive on my Xbox X right now. I have been looking at it. It's downloaded and ready to go. I bought it a while ago, and I just haven't got to it yet, but I look at it every time I go to my library. So it's ready.
That's interesting. Okay, so I was thinking about buying it because you can buy it.
Yep,
for $15.
Yep.
It was their most successful game, the developer. I did some research. It made $45 million. That's pretty good for them. They're a small studio.
I mean, that's a lot of money regardless, man. I'd be happy at $45 million.
And a while ago, right? This came out a while ago. So that's worth more now.
It was 360, I think, wasn't it?
360, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this game, Narco Terror, came out before that game. And Marlowe Briggs was basically the culmination of all the stuff they learned. Wow, I didn't even plan this. But like we said earlier, with Bend, right?
History lesson. You got to do like this. Look at this. We're doing archival deep diving, and this is the stuff we should do all the time as an industry, right?
Well, and it comes up organically.
Yes. Yeah.
So Marlowe Briggs was it is this kind of third-person twin-stick shooter, but with lots of different things like there's like platforming, but there's also like shooting and first-person stuff, and like there's a what's it called? Like a shmup at some point in the game, like a shoot 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited to play that. I'm actually going to buy it and play it on Xbox in a little bit, and you should too now. But what is this game? The beginning of it was, I'm watching Narco, which is a series about this drug cartels. And in this game, it just simplifies it down to just cause level, which is like, go in, you're an agent trying to like fight the cartels and find out information, and punch people while you're doing it in the face. Very Helldivers almost in a way. Like, go in and fight for freedom of, these damn drug cartels. And you're a main character who's like, total 90s bro dude. And it doesn't matter because it's just fun. And this goes to the conversation also about double A's and triple A's and Helldivers, really, because what is this game and what does the world need more of? Just games that are fun. Go back to our roots. Is it fun to play and to blow things up? Yeah, it is. And that's kind of why I play Helldivers, that bring it back. But yeah, twin stick shooter, you run around, you have a jump button, you have a punch button. Okay, it's a good melee button. You have twin stick shooters, you have weapons you can pick up, you have shotgun, you have all your rifles, all that stuff. You have different ammo, you have fire ammo that sets things on fire. And one of the best things is as you're running through this, unlimited enemies come out at you, of course. The drug cartel has millions of people. And you're fighting all of them. Millions of people.
I think that's really funny that you say the drug cartels employ millions of people, so that equals infinite enemies. That's hilarious.
It's kind of true.
That is hilarious.
It's kind of true. I'm watching the show, I know. But, you're fighting waves of people, and everything is blow-upable, okay? Because, like, literally as you're going through, like, these missions and these areas, there's cars and vans and, vehicles. Every vehicle you can blow up.
Nice.
And it's that thing where, remember from the 90s where you shoot a car or a vehicle and it does that timer and it's like, dee, 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 and it's going to blow up? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're strategically using like everything in your field of view as a bomb. Like everything blows up. And it is endlessly fun. And again, I'm playing it as stream where I can save it, And so it's like, I'm going to beat this game, like I'll be able to have fun and beat this game. And I can see why Marlowe Briggs would be a fucking hoot, because if it's an extension of what this is, and also it's fun for me because I'm literally watching a show about Narcos. So I recommend it, which is hilarious.
Wow. Okay.
Because again, you shouldn't even say wow, because why do you like Helldivers? You like Helldivers, the same reason I like Narco Terror.
Oh, sure. It makes sense. Yeah.
I'm jumping, random shit's happening. I remember, you weren't there. A semi-truck just this morning blew up, smashed.
I was definitely not there.
You were not there. It smashed this other barrel into this other person. The guy was up on a, roof somewhere. He fell off.
Is this the game or is this like in your neighborhood?
No, this happened in my house, in my one room.
In your one room, okay.
No, yeah, it happened in the game, and it's just like, all that randomness is similar to Helldivers. It's like this just craziness that goes on, I recommend. Yeah, I mean, if you have PlayStation Plus, there's no reason it's in quotes free to you.
Right.
So go check it out, Narco Terror. And also, I brought it up to remind, I guess, you and everybody else that Marlo Briggs, I think, is a good game.
Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Terror. Is that what it's called?
Mask of Death.
Mask of Death. Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't make another game because they were supposed to make a sequel to that. But I think they maybe went under. I'm not sure. But
I was just going to ask you if they closed their doors after that, because I know Marlo Briggs didn't do big numbers.
But it did, though. That's, again, why these forecastings are
maybe
bad.
not enough. I mean, they made 45 million, but
million.
maybe they were spending 50 million and they couldn't pay the bills. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I could research it. But
if anybody
anyways,
from Zootfly is listening, please let us know.
Yeah, I'll look them up again. Their logo is a cool, like, Zoot Suit hat. Mm-hmm. Like, you remember the movie The Mask? Like what that?
Oh yeah, I know what zoot suits are, man. I used to want
Yeah.
one, dude. When I was a kid, I would have killed for a zoot suit.
Really? Oh my goodness! If you had a Zoot Suit when you were a kid and you had a picture of that, that would be gold.
I never got it. My grandma said she was going to make one for me, but then she never did, and she's dead now, so that door's closed to me. But maybe I can find another zoot suit somewhere. I don't know.
By the way, okay, there's two things to unpack real quick. One, when I was a kid, because we're old, I wanted the Michael Jackson jacket.
Oh yeah, dude. You mean the red, the red one?
Jacket? Yeah. And then I wanted a glove and everything, and all that stuff was available, but cost lots of money, and we were poor. And so my mom made me a glove.
Oh, dude, yes.
Yeah, not cool, by the way. Not cool.
Not cool, but also isn't that the sweetest thing ever that she made a glove for you?
But also total ridicule. Like, you can't wear a homemade
No,
glove.
you can't. But
it didn't have enough sequence. Let's just say that.
Sure. I mean, yes. I mean, you can't compete with Michael Jackson on that level. But, as a parent now, looking back, that's exactly the kind of thing that I would do for my kid. And I'm sure that you see it in a different light now. Like, how sweet was that she wanted a glove? It's amazing.
It's amazing. But it's just funny because,
I get you.
And the last tangent, which is this tangent episode, Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death grossed $45 million worldwide on a $5 million budget.
Oh wow! Okay.
And you're telling me that wasn't enough for them?
Who knows? Well, maybe they closed for another reason. Maybe they didn't close. Maybe they got bought. Who knows? We don't know.
Well, we do. If I'm looking at the Wikipedia, if we want to really spend the rest of the podcast on it,
is it right there?
It's right there. Hold on. Another little developer by the same team. No, it takes too long.
Okay, it takes too long.
It's a crazy history.
We'll come back.
I'll come back.
Okay.
Moving on.
I got two that I got to talk about, and then we're going to close big. We're going to close big, Carlos, real big.
All right.
Okay, first one I will talk about briefly. It's called Welcome to Paradize.
I know of this game. It's a zombie game.
Yeah, it is a zombie game.
I stepped over you. P-A-R.
No, that's okay. Paradize. Do me a favor, will you? While I'm talking about this, will you look up the developer and see if they did another zombie game before this? I think they did, but I forgot to look it up before the show.
I'll look it up. This is the developer cast, by the way.
It is the developer cast. Although, actually, we should probably always be the developer cast. But
we kind of are. I mean, Burst is like a lot of other companies.
We should probably do more research, because doing a show like this, our memories are not good enough to just go free.
Right. We don't do homework, but we do research. I don't know.
Anyway, okay. Welcome to Paradize. Okay, number one, spoiler, fucking fun. I love it. I think it's great.
Okay.
So what it is, it's an isometric action game where you play a survivor. It's not really even specified like what happened to you. You just like wake up and you like have survived something. Something bad happened.
Well, and zombies.
Yeah, and zombies, right? But you don't like, did your plane crash or whatever? Apparently you've been on this place, this island or whatever for like a while, or this landmass or whatever it is. You hear about a place called Paradize, and it's supposed to be like the last safe place for living humans. So you make your way there. This is all the opening cutscene. And then it's like this walled off community, but it's seen better days. Like zombies are breaking in. There's not a whole lot of other people around. It doesn't look like a happy community. It looks like, it maybe at some point it was, but now they're barely hanging on by their fingernails. And so you show up, and the hook of this game is that it's not just a survival game where you're finding resources like wood and leaves and rope and stuff, because you're doing that. And it's not just about crafting. There is crafting, but it's all very minimal, very light, very fast paced. I'm not big on crafting. I don't like crafting, but in this game, I don't mind it because it all just goes by so quickly. It's just like totally like no big deal. You're finding stuff all the time. You make stuff all the time. The point of it is not really to like get you to grind all the time. It's just kind of like something to supplement the action. But in this game, the hook is that someone in this community has created a headset that turns zombies from slavering monsters into your best friend. And so you stick a headset on a zombie. You got to make one real quick. Takes like 3 pieces of metal and a piece of rope or something. You slap it on a zombie head, then all of a sudden you can tell them to do whatever you want. And there's even like a whole little behavior menu, which is really easy, very streamlined and straightforward. It'll be like, in combat, do ABC. Out of combat, do DEF, whatever. So like they'll just go with you, and you can do all sorts of fun stuff. And so you got to like at that point restore the community to health, liberate the rest of the island, increase your crafting menu, increase your available technology, and increase the number of zombies you have, and just kind of like go around walking around killing stuff and building stuff and like doing goofy shit with your zombie. Now this is absolutely goofy, tongue-in-cheek. It's I mean, the difficulty can be serious at times. I've actually died quite a bit in this game, which surprised me, but it's funny. Like, for example, I mean, number one, controlling zombies with the headset is pretty funny already.
Yeah, already.
They get a little like orange jumpsuit, and they're your friend. They follow you around like a little puppy, and you can tell them to attack people. And also, if you have a saddle, you stick it on your zombie. You can ride them like a horse, and you like run around the island.
Weird.
Yeah, and they'll attack for you. You ride them. You can have them be snipers, like give them some guns, and they'll like take their zombie shots at people. Or you can give them a bat, like whatever equipment you have, give it to them. They'll run around with you and like be your backup buddy. And so you're kind of meeting other survivors. You're expanding your build menu. You're doing this like real-time action with your zombies as you're running around. It's really goofy and fun, and I think it's just like a really great time. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. This is one that I definitely feel like I want to like go the distance on, because I'm just enjoying the systems and everything. And plus it makes me laugh. Like every time I meet somebody, I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And what is the next goofy thing I can do with my zombies? And like, I have not been disappointed so far.
That's so cool. Yeah, the developer, by the way, made How to Survive.
I knew it. Okay, that's what I thought. How to Survive and How to Survive 2.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love both those zombie games. They're great. So it makes perfect sense that I love this one too, because those games are awesome. Same isometric zombie action. Those are definitely way more focused on pure survival, even though they did have a dark sense of humor. But this one is just like pushes the goofy factor over the top, and I think it's totally fine. It totally works. I'm having a blast with it. I think it's just really, really a good time.
I think I am going to like it. That's one of the ones. These are one of those games that you're going to turn me on to. I think it's still $25 or something. When you're as poor as I am, it's every game is expensive.
Sure.
That's not that expensive. So
I think you would like this one, Carlos.
I think I
this one,
would.
Yeah, I think this one would be your jam. It's so goofy and silly. The action keeps your hands busy all the time. You never get too bogged down in the crafting. It's just simple and straightforward. I'm not going to say that it pushes like, the cutting edge of game development in any way, but like it's just so pleasant and fun, and it hits all the high points for me, like the goofiness, the action, not too much crafting, silly quests, you're running around. Like it just feels like the kind of game that's very easy for me to sink into on a Saturday afternoon and just kind of just spend like 3 hours just like getting better weapons and killing zombies. It's just fucking fun, dude. I really like it a lot.
All right, check it out for sure, and I will.
Definitely. And also check out, I believe there's also multiplayer as well, just like How to Survive. But check out How to Survive and How to Survive 2. Those are also great experiences, very similar to this one, but like a little bit more serious. So a little bit more.
They are more serious.
Yeah,
and
definitely more serious.
I remember the first one being too hard, and then I feel like the second one they made it a little easier.
I think so. I think that's correct.
I really liked How to Survive 2, and I'd recommend that.
Yeah. So full disclosure, there are difficulty spikes here, so you're not going to just breeze through this. But I think it's really well made, and I definitely like the work these guys do. They have kind of cornered the market on isometric zombie real-time action, which is a kind of a specific niche, but they do it really well. I dig it.
Check it out.
Check that out for sure. And I'm going to sound like a fucking broken record, because the next game I'm going to talk about is fucking awesome as well. Have I not liked a single game this show? Have I not liked anything?
Wait.
Let's look back. Helldivers.
We all liked everything.
Loved it. King Arthur. Awesome. Penny's Big Breakaway. Great. Welcome to Paradize. Awesome. Okay, this is a show. It's all winners. All killer, no filler.
All Winners is the name of a podcast.
All winners. Here's the
great,
next game. That is a good title. The next game is called Classified France 44. Again, this is a turn-based tactics game. This is set, as you might guess, in World War II. You play a group of resistance fighters dropped in by the Allies to help prepare the region before D-Day. So this is, they have some historical touchstones. This is not a documentary game. It's not like super historical based. I mean, it's just like the large framework of World War II, D-Day's coming soon, and then you got to like, fuck the Nazis up before your Allied friends get there. So that's kind of what you're doing. You're doing like all these little partisan missions where you're like sabotaging things, you're stealing things, you're blowing up bridges, you're kind of doing that stuff. So it plays out in typical turn-based fashion, although I guess not too typical, because the thing that's great about this game is they do so many interesting things with the systems. And I feel like I've been saying that a lot this year, but we have had so many fucking good turn-based tactics games lately, like in the last 6 months. It's just been like a cornucopia of like amazing turn-based games, which is one of my favorite genres. So I'm like a pig in shit over here, dude. I'm eating all these up and being like, man, everyone is just definitely worth playing. So what makes this one good? Number one, they put a pretty good emphasis on story, which I think is wonderful. You start off with this crew of folks. As you go through the missions, you often get to choose between one soldier or the other. You cannot get them all. And so, for example, sometimes it'll be like, oh, here's a guy from Australia. He's got a heavy machine gun. He found himself in the middle of Nazi territory. Or we can rescue this woman who is a French resistance spy freedom fighter. Like, which one do we want to help? And you can choose one, you can't choose both. And so whichever one you don't choose just goes away for the rest of the game. So you've got that little tension going on. Very often there are missions that come up where you have to choose one or the other. Like, oh, do we assassinate the higher ranking Nazi official? That'll put the movement of the Nazis back by a couple days. Or do we go steal these supplies that we badly need? Which is more important, the bandages or stopping the Nazis? So you choose between those things. Another little nice tension as well. But beyond that, I think the thing that makes this game really interesting is morale. And I don't say that often because I find a lot of games like add morale to their systems, but they don't really do a lot with it, or it's just some dumb meter you got to worry about. But in this game, they really focus on it a lot in a way that I've never seen before. And I think it just works so well. So what does this mean? Usually starting off in a mission with at least 4 people on a team. Your team eventually grows to, I think, 8 or 10, but you can never take more than 4. Although sometimes you'll get extra partisan fighters, like when you get to a map. Sometimes you'll have like 2 random French guys who want to join you for just one mission. So you'll have 6. Or sometimes you'll have, 5 or something like that. But 4 is your core number. Anyway, as you go into these missions, think about like XCOM, think about like turn-based stuff like that. But how the morale plays out is whenever you take a shot at somebody, like they get scared. It doesn't matter who it is. And some people have more morale than others. They have more bravery than others. But even if you miss, even if there's no way of you hitting them, for example, if you have like a 15% hit chance and you're like, there's no way I'm going to hit this guy. Even if you take a shot at him, he knows you're shooting at him and he gets scared and he'll duck down. And so like his morale will drop. And if you drop halfway, he'll, all his action points get cut in half and his accuracy gets cut in half. If you drop his morale to 0, he gets quote unquote psychologically broken. He skips an entire turn, can't take any action, and just sits there like any hit is a critical hit. So even if you don't hit people every single time, if you're managing their morale, that's just as good, because if you keep them ducked down behind cover and scared, it lets you have all these windows to move your guys up forward. It's kind of just like a real leaning into suppressive fire, where in some games, I mean, suppressive fire isn't a new thing in turn-based tactics, but it's never as effective, or it has never made as much sense as it has here. Usually it's like, oh, person A does suppressive fire. That means you get plus 10% hit chance on your next turn. Boo, boring. Who cares?
Yeah, it's more like
dude?
a meter, like you said.
Yeah, it's like a
earlier.
meter. But this is like, you take a shot and the guy will be like, oh shit, and he'll duck down. Like he'll get scared, right? Or like if you break somebody, they'll be like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. And they start screaming and they get scared. And you're like, oh dude, I got these guys on the run, right? So like there was this one Nazi sniper who was taking my team apart, and one of my guys moved up, took a shotgun shot at him, had no chance in hell of hitting him. No way. But I took the shot anyway, because it tells you ahead of time if it's going to have morale effect. And they all do. And it shot him. He got real scared. He stopped taking shots. He ducked down, and that gave us a window for the other rest of my team who were getting picked apart to rush him. And then everybody took a shot. He just turtled, and we have like basically free reign to go up and take his ass out. So I love the morale system. It makes a sense in this game that I've never seen before, and it just changes the dynamic of every way that you look at these encounters. It's so fucking brilliant and so good. It really, really works really well. The other thing that I think really works in this game's favor is the levels are small. They are very small. Now, they're not teeny tiny, but they're not like these giant sprawling maps where you're spending half your time like covering distance and moving around. Like, it's like a courtyard. It's like 2 rooms in a factory. It's like a gun emplacement and a bunker. Like, they're all small, so you can get through these levels. They're all about half an hour, give or take, depending on how slow you go. And so I just really love the bite size, like, again, all killer, no filler, where you're just like, you're not wasting time doing anything. You can position, jump in, attack, get the mission done, bounce. Like, it all just goes really quickly, and you're not just spending like 3 hours on a map, right? Which is great, which I love. I also really like going back to camp. They talk to each other when you get back to camp, which is wonderful. I love that, like interactions. And the more you do, the more their morale builds up, makes them tougher in the field, which there's a benefit to it. You can change the clothes to give them different armor effects and stuff. Like you can tinker with stuff when you get back to base. There's also like really detailed skill trees where you can customize each character in like one of 4 different ways. So everybody has their own specialty, like a medic or a heavy gunner or a sniper or something. But you can make them, like 4 different flavors of each of those things with some really significant gameplay effects. Like it's not even just like a, that stupid like +5 hit percentage or +2 damage or something. It's shit like if you kill a guy, you get to go again. Or like if somebody hits you and you're real high morale, like you shrug it off. Like stuff that really has like a really big impact in how you play these characters. So I feel like every upgrade feels very substantial and significant, and it really makes you feel empowered to go through this. I mean, I could go on and on. I think this game has a lot of like really amazing choices, even though it doesn't seem to be on the surface. But once you play, and if you play any number of these games, you're like, oh wow, this feels very different. And they're really doing something fresh and new, which I love. Really quickly, let me give you the downsides. I will say the only downside to this, and in fact, the only thing I can think of that I have a problem with is just the presentation. I think the presentation is a little bit too low budget, and I can understand why some people might not give this a chance, because if you're looking at screenshots, it looks kind of drab. If you look at close-up screenshots, you're like, these character models are pretty ugly, and some of the animations are pretty janky. So I think that in terms of production, like I'm talking about, we need better faces, we need more detail in the characters. We need to get rid of any weird graphical bugs. Like, for example, when your characters march into a level, they're all holding a gun and their wrists are at this weird fucking angle that looks like a not human would be able to hold it. Like they look like bug people holding their gun. It's weird. And it's like, it sucks because it takes away from like everything that they get right in this game, and they knock it out of the park in so many ways. I'm like, oh dude, this is such a great game. I wish it just looked a little bit better. It would be so much of an easy sell to people if it didn't look like, I'm not going to say it looks like ass, but it definitely looks like they need to up their art team, their art direction, the art assets. It's not great looking. So just know that. Yeah. But if you don't care that much about the art, and I don't, I really care about gameplay. Gameplay is king. And this game is the shit. I'm really having a great time with it. I think it's so fun. I'm definitely going to finish the one for sure. I think I'm probably 3/4 of the way through it right now, and I'm just loving it. I think every mission has something new, and the way the characters play is great. It's just great. Everything about it is great.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like on the surface, you're like, it's a military game, tactics.
Yeah.
But like all those things you explained and I'm glad you did, it does change the moment to moment, the gameplay. So that seems cool.
It's really good. I really want anybody listening, if you like turn-based tactics, you got to check this one out. I think it just has so many fresh ideas. It's worth a look. Just get past the admittedly somewhat dog food graphics. I hate that it doesn't look as good as it does. I wish that it had more money in the budget there. But regardless, give it a shot. I think it's really got it where it counts, and I'm having a blast with it. So it's definitely a check it out for sure.
Check it out.
100%.
Which, by the way, tangent, before we get to my last game,
yes,
is I check it out evolved over this podcast. I remember that. Like I said it once just for fun.
And we just kept doing it.
And it's like, it's the approval rating. It's the thumbs up.
Absolutely. 100% for sure.
So check it out.
Check it out for sure. In fact, have all of these been checking out?
It's all winners. That's the name of the podcast.
All winners. Everyone so far has been checking out.
Have we ever done it? I don't know. And will we
have
finish
done one
with all winners? Let's see.
Oh, that's true. We have one more game to go. Take it away, sir. You're talking about the big dog, the one that everybody's playing, the one everybody's talking about right now, the one that is lighting up the charts. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You jumped in and you are playing it. I'm guessing you're probably neck deep by now. So, Carlos, fill us in, man.
Yeah, probably 15 hours. And after tonight, 20? At least another 5.
Okay.
Probably.
You got your evening planned out. I respect that.
Oh, yeah. After dinner, that is all I'm doing. Yeah, this game, spoiler, fucking fantastic. I think we were talking on the phone last night when we were playing Helldivers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it an official score for sure. Not this episode, because I want to play more of it. But in my mind right now, it feels like a 9. It feels like I think I told you it's a perfect game. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I don't find anything wrong with it. It's endlessly fun. It's relaxing. And the other kind of backstory is I played the first part, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that I beat and really, really enjoyed it. Another backstory is I played the original Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation, never beat it because it was very hard, at least for me. And I don't know if there was difficulty options back then. I feel like there wasn't.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, I got stuck on a boss somewhere, And there's many games that I'm replaying now that have save features or something, like I alluded to earlier, that now I can beat. And back then you just couldn't, right?
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake felt like what I thought Final Fantasy VII was. It's like the graphics were better. Everything just felt like how I remember that game. And also it diverged, right, into story and stuff. And
yeah.
I won't spoil it, I guess, but it basically offered up a whole new concept of that world.
Well, let's pause on that for a second, right? So as someone who played the original Final Fantasy VII back in the day, and I did finish it, I didn't finish like all the extra weapons like Ruby Weapon and Omega Weapon or whatever, like all the bonus. I don't think I did those things, but I did finish it for sure. So I kind of vaguely remember, the highs and lows. But in terms of story, now I have not played the most previous Final Fantasy remake. I did not play this one. I probably will at some point. I haven't gotten to them. But like don't spoil anything, but like how different are these? Is it like basically the same with a few tweaks, or is it like, whoa, this is like super different?
It's basically the same, except the ending is, whoa, this is way different.
Okay.
And that makes you excited for what they're doing, because this is a trilogy. They basically take one game and made it 3 games.
Okay.
And some people have, people have love and hate relationship with that idea, but I like it because basically they can spend more time with characters and interactions, and like a series, you're watching a Netflix series or something. Is it a movie or is it a whole series? And you can kind of really flush out, a lot of the story in the world.
Right.
So I like what they did, and they basically made this game longer. But yes, to your point, a lot of it's the same. They'll do things that you remember as a kid, and you're like, wow, that's that moment, which, as you know, Final Fantasy VII has a big moment.
Sure, many.
Which is in this Rebirth, by the way. There's one main moment we're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
And it's in this one, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
So anyways, the point is they change it wildly at the end. Like they introduce something that is really different.
Okay.
And that made me excited to play this Rebirth, which is kind of picking up where that left off. What is the game? It's Final Fantasy VII. I'm not going to go into it. If you played the game, if you haven't, look at the trailers, remake. It's a JRPG, old school, but new school. And I will delve into the combat a little bit, but it's Final Fantasy VII, done better. The graphics are amazing. It's beautiful. It's fun to run around the world, third person. There's a million mini games. I'm sure most people who've listened to the podcast have watched YouTube videos on it by now. But there's 8,000 mini games. You don't have to play them. You can mainline it. I'm that person. I notoriously just want to go through the campaign. So I've seen them pop up. There's a card game, Queen's Blood, like Gwent. It's good. It's fun, but I'm not going to spend millions of hours on it. Mm-hmm. There's games that you have to play, like mini games, part of the story. You kind of just do it once or twice if you have to for the story, and then you kind of move on. I think a lot of people will have fun with those mini games. It is literally 100 hours. Probably you could fuck around with that stuff, but I won't. I'm really interested in the story, and they get you, really fired up about Shinra and the whole idea of this huge corporation who's bad and is ruining the planet. And there's a lot of analogies for or metaphors for today, in the real world. So you want to go against this company. You think they're terrible. You're out on the run as a little vagabond group. And what do you do in the game? Yeah, there's campaign stuff, but it's a lot of just open areas, not open world for real. It's an open area, but you can, I'm trying to almost 100% the first land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's I could do it. In Just Cause, I probably couldn't do it, But in this one, I'm it's really open, but I see the edges. I see this area. I see this area. I see the things on the map that I got to go do. And I think what the game does really well is, I think I was telling you this the other night, it makes it so easy for you to want to be completionist in it, because it's hey, you just unlock this thing you can craft. That thing you can craft now is for this mission. So just go do that mission. Okay, cool.
Gotcha,
I'll do it.
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
Then you go and do the job boards that JRPGs have, and you look at those and you're like, oh, but those are all very easy to finish too. It's the opposite of Dragon's Dogma. When I went back to Dragon's Dogma, I was I could do side missions, but I think I'm just lost.
Mm-hmm.
And in this game, it's no, just do everything. It's easy. Just do everything.
They just put it right in front of you.
They
strongly encourage you to do it.
Yeah. And then you're helping out that one guy who upgrades all your shit. If you remember, there's like a guy who makes like virtual worlds for you to like fight bosses in. And basically, he wants you to collect data from the whole world. So there's all this data collecting, but it's also very easy. There's towers, like a Just Cause thing or Far Cry. But again, they're very easy. Like you do them and you get some medals and, So it's just a hoot, all right? It's a relaxing hoot.
It's a
hoot. Here's the biggest thing about the combat, though, and this would be interesting for you, I think. I think it was mainly turn-based with a little bit of active time back in the day.
Active time battle is what it's famous for.
Yeah. And so it was like turn, but then also things are happening at the same time. Like the gameplay's
going up. You're watching the meter. You're like, I got my meter up and I got to do my key off my attack and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So this is all real time with that turn-based on top of it. So basically you're going around as any of the characters and you could switch between them. You know me, I just pick one. So I'm mainly Cloud. And you go and do battle against monsters. Do all your abilities. You can switch stances, all that kind of stuff. And then at some point, you have abilities and spells that open up. But they open up in real time. So then you'll go to the menu, and it doesn't pause it. It just does super slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And then that was similar to Remake, but they improved everything in this one. So you do that, and it feels really good. You're like, you pick a move, and you do it. And then you can also switch to your teammates and have them do moves like that when the action is ready. But then they have synergy abilities that they really lean into. So you and Tifa can do like super kick mode, right? And if that opens up and that's available, you pick that. Or your limit break, you pick that. Or every character has a teammate kind of thing, synergy ability. And there's a lot of them because there's a skill tree and you can unlock a million of them. Mm-hmm. So these are things that people know if they know Final Fantasy VII. But I want to stress that the combat's done the best it's ever been done. Like,
nice.
It is endlessly fun to fight anything. And you're like, yep, I want to do it. The only thing I'll say, the only teeny con, is that I have it on story mode or whatever, the basic mode you can get. And even that, the bosses take a while.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Are they just like HP walls, or is it like just like millions and millions of points of HP?
Yeah, it's HP. Yeah, because we fought this huge snake, and I have it on a story mode supposedly, but I was like, I was getting hurt. I was having to heal myself. It's just a lot to take out,
Gotcha.
But man, oh man, everything they do is fun. It's relaxing. I mean, that's kind of the short version. I'm going to go back. We'll be talking about this game on many episodes.
Okay.
But my short version is it's a perfect RPG. It's a perfect translation of what, this old school game was. It's like kind of bringing it to the new audience and bringing it new graphics. And I think this is the best version of the combat that I've seen.
Wow. So it did end up being a winner.
It is. We've done it. We've done it. All
Literally,
winners.
Yeah, God, I think we've only done this, if memory serves, and I don't know that it does, but I think we've only done like an all-winner show, maybe like one other time out of all the episodes. We're up to like, what, episode 378 or something like that? Whatever today's episode is, I forget, but man, so that's not a common occurrence. I think it's kind of special. Yeah, 378. So 2 out of 378. Jeez. That's pretty special. So hey, celebrate us, all winners today.
All winners, no losers. Yeah, and I am like, that's my go-to game now is Final Fantasy VII. I kind of don't want it to end, and I don't need it to if I just did all those mini games. But yeah, I'm mainlining it. It's great.
All right on. We'll definitely check that out then for sure.
Check it out.
All right, folks, that is a show, big show, stuffed, as we said, with nothing but good things. So any of those things I think would probably be great. You can't really go wrong there.
You can't.
Before we go, the game portion of our show is officially done, but we might have a couple non-games things to talk about. I guess I got one thing. Carlos, what do you get to talk about that is non-games related before we wrap here?
2 things I saw the trailer for. I saw the TV Glow, which is put out by A24. If you've not seen that trailer, go see the trailer. I'm very excited for that movie. I won't say anything else. Just go watch the trailer.
Is it a horror movie or what is it?
It's a horror, genre? Indie, Stranger Things kind of thing.
Okay.
Stranger Things horror. I saw the TV Glow. You, Brad, and everybody else, go watch it.
Okay.
A24, come on. And also, anybody who's playing Helldivers, any human who's playing Helldivers 2, go watch Code 8 on Netflix.
Code 8, okay.
So Code 8 came out a long time ago, years ago, I think. Code 8 Part 2 just dropped. I didn't know either of those existed.
Is this a movie or TV series?
Movie. And it stars that guy from Upload, which I don't know his name, but we both like the TV series Upload.
Oh yeah, Upload's awesome. I forget that guy. He's the brother of the Green Arrow guy, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
He's a good actor, but he's also like always you want to root for him, nice
He's
guy.
always super nice guy.
Yeah. So he's also a super nice guy in this one. In Code 8, I watched the first movie, and he's like trying to save his mother, and he's like the good guy, but he also has powers. And so it's one of those movies where, you watch that one TV show that I love, the British Powers show.
Extraordinary?
Yeah. So it's similar to that in that way that, like, not funny at all, but it's like people have powers, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. And if anything, a lot of the people with powers in this world like are turned to criminal activity, and it's kind of a shunned upon thing.
I mean, gosh, I can't say that I wouldn't do the same thing. If I could turn invisible and steal a bunch of money, I probably would.
Right. And
I'd
also
steal it from bad people, though.
Right, bad people. And also it's in this world they're persecuted, like they're looked down upon. They're like this one character, again, the good guy, has to turn to crime to like save his mom to get money,
Sure.
Anyways, it's a movie you can get behind. It's obviously, popcorn movie fluff, like at times, and kind of corny.
Nothing wrong with those.
No, but it's also done well, and there's also robot police, so it's like you feel Helldivers vibe the whole time.
Okay.
So I'm all in. I finished the first movie, and like tonight I'll watch, well, maybe tomorrow because I'm doing Narcos tonight, but I'll watch that second movie and play Helldivers. It's a perfect companion.
Okay, interesting. All right, there you go with your multimedia recommendation.
Multimedia.
I don't really have a lot to talk about this week. I was going to talk about the implosion of moonlighting. I think I'm probably the only person in the world that cares about it right now.
You are the only one that cares about
I mean, maybe not, because it's been gone for so long, and now that it's coming back, a lot of people are dipping back in just like I am. I'll save that for another day, though, but we're almost done. I think my wife and I only have 10 episodes left, and it's really interesting just to kind of read about each episode and see, now that like 40 years have gone by, what actually was happening back then, and like why the show was doing what it did and what happened behind the scenes. So that's kind of a weird kind of meta examination of that show, but I'll save it for another time.
Yeah.
The one thing I will give a shout out to is, everybody knows I like action figures. I usually talk about He-Man or Transformers or something, but as you know, I am also a pretty big Warhammer 40K fan, and there's a new line of 40K toys. Now, not miniatures, like, it's not the tabletop stuff where you buy the lead miniatures and it takes a million years to paint them. And man, those are awesome as fuck when you see some that are really done well, but I don't have the time or the space or the money or the patience for that.
Oh yeah.
It's like a lifestyle. 40K, the tabletop, is a lifestyle, and that is not my lifestyle. But if you like that vibe, if you like that property, a toy company called Joy Toy, who does some really awesome robot models and action figures. They're kind of a cross between model and action figure, where they're really high detailed, really like swag and fancy, but they're not just like a statue or model. Like, you can move them around, they're posable, but you wouldn't want to like play with them because they're not that durable, but you also could get some pretty cool action poses and take cool pictures of them or whatever. Anyway, they put out a whole line of 40K toys. I just got my first couple this week, and man, they are really good quality. They're like super detailed. The paint job on them is great. I will say the plastic is a little bit stiff, and so if you want to put a gun in somebody's hand, you have to like warm it up first. The plastic is a little bit not very malleable, which is fine. I mean, it's okay. It's not a big deal. But man, I got one of the Mechanicus guys, and he's got like all these weird tubes and arms and stuff and lights on them. And then I got one of the regular like Warhammer Shock Troop guys, and his armor is like so cool. Like, it all just looks like the game, and he's just really posable. And they're smart because the Warhammer 40K armor is so big and bulky. It's famous for like the giant shoulder pads and stuff. It would never work in real life. I mean, you'd never be able to move, but they were very clever. And they got little bits of articulation on the shoulders in such a way that even with all this big clunky armor, you can still pose the fuck out of them. They look really good. So I give definitely 2 thumbs up to the Joy Toy 40K action figure line. Man, those are the shit. They're really good. I'm going to get a couple more of those, man. That's good stuff.
That's going to hurt your wallet, I think.
I don't have a wallet left. I have the memory of a wallet right now. So, yeah. Painful. But anyway, those are fucking rad. And that is going to do it for this show. Folks, before we close, I would love to ask you to please leave a review, share us on social media, and most important of all, recommend us to your friends, because nothing beats word of mouth. Also, if you want to support the show and help us out with the cost of running the podcast, you can do that over at patreon.com/the So Videogames podcast. And anybody at $5 or £5 or above will be personally invited by me to join the Discord. As always, besides all that, we do want to get your questions and your comments. Hit us up at sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com, or individually. Carlos, where are we sending your traffic this week?
Glitch to the Ground on all the platforms, mainly TikTok. If you've heard of that platform, it's a place where they play videos and people watch them.
Are you saying pale?
That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with it. Nice try for a callback. No, but I did a bunch of Helldivers videos up on there. And
Yeah, you got a bunch of them up there now.
One went crazy. Some others didn't. But it's just fun to put stuff up and check it out.
Right on, right on. As for me, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And this is going to do it for episode 378. Thank you again for joining us here on the Videogames podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.